Wellness Wednesday. Oh my gosh. Okay. Nistu ni Daniko Makoyo Sakoi. I'm coming to you live from my backyard, Lower St. Mary's. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday, Native Wellness Institute. We come every week, and sorry about the shaggy hair, but I just got out of the lake, got my wet bathing suit on, and I decided to just join you as is. So forgive me if I don't think I'm greasy looking, but I might be, anyway, I'm just, us old ladies, welcome to Native Wellness Institute. Us old ladies, we got our reading glasses. Oh yeah, I'm kind of greasy. Kind of shaggy. It's okay. Anyway, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I thought I would just come to you. I was right before I got on live. I was having just a long, good visit with our executive director, Jolene Joseph. And we were brainstorming lateral kindness. So I think part of today's topic is around lateral kindness. Not lateral violence, eh? Not, that stuff that hurt people. We were just, so I think I'll just, we'll start with that. So welcome to Native Wellness Institute's Wellness Wednesday. And just so, if those of you just joining us, you like my new spectacles, eh? You can go TJ Maxx, Ross for Less, you can get like 30 pair, eh? You ever go into TJ Maxx and Ross for Less? Me and Cecilia Fire Thunder would spend hours in there. But you can get 3 pair for $9.99. Check them out. And they're kind of I like the ones you can sit on and they still don't break. I like the ones your grandchildren can throw across the room and they don't break. I like the ones... Well, no one should be punching you, but if someone could even slap you and they don't break your glasses, these are those kind of glasses. Plus, when I put them on, I can see you clearly. And then, let's see, you used to go 14 inches back, We're giving you some old lady 101, eh? Old man 101. I can see clearly. I still have like 20/20 over there. But right here, as we age, and there's, part of, let's start there. Lateral kindness to any Indian that's over. Some tribes, it's 50 and over. In some tribes where they don't live long, it's 40 and older. So, and remember, this isn't welcome to, White Man's Institute. We're not talking about white people. This is Native Wellness Institute. So, in Native Wellness, let's just say, one of the lateral kindness to anyone that's over 50. One of the strongest values in the 574 tribes, in the Métis, and the First Nations, in Canada, and the Aboriginals, is the kindness that you give to your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, and so on with your ancestors. So this lateral kindness, we're going to talk about kindness to self, but kindness to anyone over 50. So let's just start there. Part of, I think kindness is, number one, check on them. Call them up, text them. How are you doing? Look at their page, write them a letter. Just, call them out of the blue and just say, I just love you. I was just thinking of you. How are you doing? That's lateral kindness. Just check on your elders and do lateral kindness. Other lateral kindness that you can do to anyone 50 and over is don't make fun of them because of their age. Eh? Okay, Indians, I know you're ruthless. Wicked humor, right? Wicked humor. But don't make fun of them because when they walk slower, and don't make fun of them when they can't understand some of the newer technology. Don't make fun of elders if they got a flip phone. You know, don't do that. Don't do that. Or one of the lateral kindness is to go at their pace and not to let's see, one of the things is, you know, when everyone's just like going fast and doing fast and moving around. I was in that yesterday when I had to go get my oil change and get some new tires, and everybody was just walking fast. Like, we're like kind of like how these glasses, like, you know, one of the lateral kindness is to allow the pacing in enough time so that it's gentle. So lateral, I'm just, you know, it's lateral kindness to your elders, 101. And that pacing is to not, and it's gentle. It's just like, you know, in storytelling. I was just thinking, you know, I appreciate when my elders tell me the same story over and over. Or they tell me a different version of that story, or sometimes I'll ask. So a lateral kind thing to say is, have I told you the story before? And have I told you the time when I was in, you know, residential school? Or have I told you the time when me and your grandfather met? Or have I told you, is to check and if they say yes, a laterally inclined thing to say is, yeah, you told me that, but please tell me again. I'm listening. Please tell me again. I'm listening. And that is a laterally kind thing to do. The other is, you know, it's around ageism. You know, one of the, you know, there's sexism, racism. We know enough about racism, right? We know enough, especially if you're brown, you can't pass. You know, you're not light skinned, you can't pass. When you're brown, we know about racism, we know about sexism. You know, we need to know more, but ageism, and we're going to start there with lateral kindness, is ageism is when you start to stereotype elders, you know, like just inviting them to pray and then kicking them to the curb. Like, come here, elder, come here, say a prayer, and then you just kick them to the curb. You don't listen to any of their stories. You don't say, hey, I want to hear the story about the 7 brothers, the Gakadoksikawan, or hey, can you tell me tell me again how the beaver bundle was brought to us? Or, hey, would you mind telling me how you were taught about the thunder pipe? Or, can you tell me how it was when you got your pipes, or when you fasted? Those are really good questions. That's lateral kind questions. And then, you know, one that I love is when and if they've been a couple for like Natawapi Saki and John, they've been together 52 years, but I still like to ask them, could you tell me one more time how you guys were when you first met? That's a laterally kind question. How was it when you first met? And it might, you know, later on, how was it when you got divorced, eh? How was it when you broke up and you have your 5 other boyfriends, eh? Your 5 other marriage. Anyway, there's humor in it. Asking and ageism, don't judge the pacing. Don't judge when they repeat the stories. And making safe space. Making safe space for your elders. And so so making safe space for your elders. The best thing you can do is first give them homemade dry meat, homemade cracklings, some raw kidney and salt. Woohoo! Bring them an elk steak. Bring us a buffalo hamburger made into chili. the making safe space. These are laterally kind. Whenever you go to any elder over 50 years old, we're just going to make it at that, you should bring them meat. Unless they're a vegetarian, lousy hunter. Lousy hunter. But bring them meat. Bring them, like, soon as we get off, I'm going to go visit my mom. And I was thinking, every time I come, I go, Mom, I have a gift for you. So I bought these little clips, because my mom has these little gray grandma braids, and her dexterity with their fingers isn't as good, so to put the rubber band on, and this is laterally kind, is when you give a bottle of something, water, a bottle of tea, a bottle of bubbly, something that has a screw top, is you laterally kind and you unscrew it for them. Because sometimes, anyway, I'm going to bring some gifts, and of course I went crazy. I had to go into TJ Maxx and Ross for Less to get these 50 pair of new reading glasses. Anyway, bring them a gift. Bring them food. Bring them a new ribbon skirt. Bring them a new ribbon shirt. And bring this, and I'm serious, one of the best things you can do is to bring dry meat. And if you don't have time to dry it really quick, bring them some beef jerky. Bring them a good ribeye. Bring them one of our Hooderites. You guys got Hooderites? Anyway, we have Hooderites who they come into town, and they're in Browning, right by the bank. There's these Hooderites, but it's pretty cool, because what they do is they sell all their fresh stuff out of their garden, and every once in a while. So this is an example of lateral kindness story. Is this last time when I was in town, I was getting gifts to bring to my mom. I was bringing her, some fried chicken and just good stuff to eat. And I called her and I said, "Oh, Mom, the Hooderites are here." And so I went by and I got her some fresh cucumbers, and then they have sacks of broccoli, cauliflower, bell peppers, and onions. It's just all of the fresh vegetables, so that you can just make soup. And so, but the Hooderites, they always look at me like, I don't know what, I'm not your average Indian. First they drive up in war pony and run over their toes, eh? No, I don't do that. I just drive up and I get out, and and first say, "Do you want potatoes? Do you want fresh corn?" They're doing all this. They size you up. They profile you, and then I just say, "No, I'm just looking. I want to look at everything before I buy." So see, that's lateral kindness. Allow your elders time to look around before they buy, before they select. And so anyway, it was they were sizing me up, and he said to me, "We do have duck." And so then my little eyebrow went like this, "Oh, you have duck? Let me look at them." Not I'm going to buy them. Let me look at them. And that's usually, they have the cooler where there's the other cooler stuff in there. Like, they might have homemade breads. Shoot, one time they had some skinned foxes. Anyway, I went over there and they opened it up and they had 2 ducks that had been cleaned, that had been wrapped. And I thought to myself, and this is the lateral kindness, because my sister Lori loves duck, and my mom, whenever we go where they have any kind of duck, she orders that duck. But she also is really picky about how she cooks the duck, because when you cook, and this is like old Indian lateral kindness, ask an elder how they cook it, because you should always have the duck and then you have a drip pan underneath, So when you're baking it, and it's at a lower temperature, so it's not like 350, it's more like, 275 or 300, you cook it slow. And so the duck itself, because it's very, there's a lot of grease and it's dense, it's really, it's making me hungry. You gotta have like a drip pan, so when you put it in the oven, that it actually can drip down in this drip pan. And there's stuff you can do with that, Anyway, so I said, okay, I'll take one of those, and you can put it in a bag. And then I just started getting stuff for Mom, other things that she always likes. They had really big cabbages, like bigger than my head, it seemed like. Kind of big-headed. You know any Blackfeets with big heads? We got big heads. Big egos. Too much confidence. Too much goddamn confidence. Anyway, the cabbages, they did have good corn. Oh, and they had green beans. Anyway, so so bring fresh stuff to your elder. And and before that we have and put some peppermint on or something, because we got all kinds of little things flying around here. So one of the things before I had bought from the Hutterites, and these are strong suggestions of lateral kindness for your elders. There's our one friend's in town, he calls it Grandma's Dry Meat. And that's what you can do, when you don't have all the time to make your choke cherry patties, to cut and make your dry meat, to make your cracklins, to make those kind of things. One of the laterally kind is make that your business, because in Indian country, man, so I had gotten some, and they only deal in cash. So remember, when you're on the res, we don't care, Venmo, PayPal, yes, do it. But no, when you're on the res, you got to have cash. Because they have and they have nots. And it's best just to laterally kind carry cash. So I went up to the Grandma's Dry Meat, and I said, "You still don't take no cards?" And he goes, "No, only cash. But I have some fresh cracklins." And I said, "Oh my gosh." And I go, "Well, do you have the big bags of dry meat?" And he sells like little bags for $5. You can get $5 and get some dry meat, res prices. So I said, okay, I'm going to go to the ATM, because I got to bring a gift. This lateral kindness to my mother. She likes that dry meat. She likes to put it with salt pork and rice. So anyway, I got some dry meat, the big bags. I got Mom a big bag, me a big bag. I had to go get painted, because we've had, with the death of my nephew, who feels like a son. I couldn't take care. I got roots over here. I finally could take care of this grandfather root and this Omegasus root. Because when you're in grief, you should not take care of medicine. You should not, any kind of anger or over something that's real strong emotion. You got to be in a good space. You got to be, smudge off, smoke your pipes, take care of yourself. And it's just like to come on here. I wanted to come on and just share with you. That's what this wellness, some wellness. And so around lateral kindness. So I ended up buying, bags of dry meat, and then he had fresh cracklins, and so I got some for Mom. And then I thought in my mind, I shouldn't overeat, just getting all of my checkups, and my cholesterol's still good. Hey, and my A1C is 6. Woohoo! But, it's like goddamn blood pressure. Oh, and, that has to do with stress, I think. Anyway, so we're working on that. So I got a big bag of dry meat for Mom, a big bag for myself, and then I got a couple extras for gifts. Think of elders, and I thought, I better get a couple extra. So sure enough, during the funeral, we had one of our I almost said real bird, but bruised head relatives, and when you give them something like I just said, this is for you for later. Take it. They stuff it. They they stuff it so they don't have to share just a little bit. So anyway, gave that away to Mike Bruised-Head, who was helping. And then I kept another bag. So I went, and I'm just laterally, when you have had a significant death, a significant loss, and some of us have had several. In Indian country, we have death all the time. But we have life all the time. We have resiliency all the time. But in order to, once we went through the 4 days, and once we went through, oh gosh, just all of the stuff with family, all of the stuff with 38 pallbearers, all of the stuff with feeding hundreds of people, there was so much lateral kindness. Everyone came and took care of things. That's lateral kindness at a time of loss, with the food, with the bringing their songs, bringing their prayers, bringing their horses, bringing their all of that lateral kindness. And so once it was over, and in the sense that we had buried him in the ground, and man, that was just took horseback, I don't know, 73 horseback, just beautiful, honoring the legacy of Swift Current. And then just once we had put him into the ground, and I sat with our family, sat with his wife, sat with his mother. We once that was done, I went home and slept and just rested. Allow your elders to rest. Allow them to sleep good, to dream good. And then so I woke up and I go, oh, I got to get painted. And it came to me right as I was dreaming. Oh, my umbrella. Okay, don't fly away, umbrella. It might fly away. This is good. This is good that I just want to show you. This is good that the wind is picking up, because we've had a lot of snow. I guess it's doing okay. This is where I'm taking care of the roots, Home Augustus and some grandfather root. I think it's gonna hold. But just to kind of show you, it's one of those days, and this is where I was swimming. It's my favorite place. See, it's so clear. You can see down to the bottom there. And there looks like there's a couple loons out there. But this is where I live, and this is so this lateral kindness, I really had to go and take some time to get my face painted. And so, most of I always go to Natua Pisaki, but she was at Indian Relay. Everybody was at Blackfoot, Idaho, and our relative Bridger Murray took first place. So I went and I brought dry meat. My sister Lori drove me. Thank you, Atstanikiwa. We went together because we've just been through a lot of changes and renewal. So getting your face painted is about renewal, and I needed to be cleansed. So we went up and I got cleansed, and we brought a whole bunch of other gifts. Anyway, it was just to give 4 or 5 hours of visiting. Lateral kindness. When you go to see an elder, don't look at your phone. Number one, put that phone away. If you're looking at your phone and not your elder, you ain't Indian. You have colonized. Look at your elder and talk to your elder. That's lateral kindness. It's okay. Just put your phone down for a little bit. A little dopamine drip. You can, drip later. Anyway, and so we got to say, because I had been texting and talking, and they knew that my grief was strong. And I said, well, I think I'm getting to a good place, because every morning when I wake up, I'd cry. And I told him, I said, this is the first morning, because I was going to get painted, I didn't cry. He said, that's good, because we have to move forward. We have to move on. And so remember, lateral kindness, it doesn't mean it's just done. Getting cleansed, sleeping good, and which, so I wanted to share that much story with you. So once I got painted, I had already picked out the route over here where I live, and then one of the routes is across the lake, and there's all kinds of medicine here. Like right now, I guess I'm going to take you for a walk. This is my favorite little bird, where I feed all the birds. This is, see, when you, bullberries right there, the thorn. But there's just an incredible amount of berries. We're still picking. There's still some coming, and the leaves are starting to change a little bit. But I was just gonna walk you out. Oh yeah, the leaves changed a lot, and now it looks like some of the berries are ripe. I'm just coming. See, I'm having repotting plants. I've got a lot going on here, but it's just so beautiful right now. I guess I'm just taking you for a walk. Like, look at these. Look at my berries. Savas berries. Savas berries. I walked you around this before, but everywhere. Look at this. And so that the topic of lateral kindness, the ageism, even that term that I would use, some people say that respect is a value, but really reevaluate the elders in your life that are 50 years and older, and especially giving them time to tell you the stories several times, because one of Doug Fitzgerald is from Paul Ironpipe. Ooh, look at these rose hips. Can always put out spit. 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. God, that's good. And that's the pharmacy. The pharmacy is here. The pharmacy is, there's licorice root. And I'm not telling you to come here, come and visit me, eh? Because, somehow people say, oh, I want to come. That lateral kindness is, you make appointments to go see, or you bring the food, you bring the tobacco, you bring, the gifts, bring all the horses to give to the elder, and before you ask, or one good thing, and this is just before you ask anything, just say, I'm bringing this because I love you and thank you. I love you and thank you. And that's just a really good way to start off the visit. I love you and I thank you. So I'm bringing you these gifts. But I had with Roger and Charlene Prairie Chicken, because Roger's my blood relative and Charlene is my elder with the stand-up headdresses. She makes them, and they both have taught me so much. So when I woke up and I knew I needed to prepare myself because life goes on, and I needed to take care of all these medicines that I have. So I I text and I said, can you paint my face? Lori's going to come with me today or tomorrow. And you give him time, give him a couple, three or some choices. And he said tomorrow would work better. And so it was just so funny because we said, we'll be up before, late morning, by the time. And when you tell elders something, you better show up then. Don't be, running around doing other things. Or when it's just like one elder, my mom, she was waiting for someone it was going to come and mow her lawn, and they said about 10:30, and they didn't come till after 1 o'clock, and that pissed her off. Because when you tell the elder, okay, I'll be there around 10, or I'll be there at 9, you better get your ass there and be there because don't be making the elders wait around for you. That's just like if they babysit your kids, you better come back and get your kids and not leave them there for years. That's what happens. Sometimes they just leave the kids for years, right? It's okay to have, I'm not going to even go there because each family has to decide. There's no golden rules, but lateral kindness is allow your elders the quality time with their grandchildren and their children, but not forever. You made the babies. You should be taking care of them. And the lateral kindness is, just to, to get help, to ask for help, and not just and I think about that, and boy, I just go back and forth because I see what happens to my peer group when they have to take care of kids all the time, and not and the part of it, and have their own life, have their own time, their own quiet time, their reading time, their beating time. Lateral kindness is find out what that elder needs. Do they have time where they need to just bead, or where they just need to make outfits? I loved one of their grandchildren were there, but they had to take them back home. So this was like, what we would call Labor Day, and they needed Sunday. They needed to get ready to go back to school, and so a necklace was one of the gifts that was given to one of the grandchildren, and she's about 10, going on 11. And then Grandma right away, her lateral kindness, she goes, no, now we're going to have to make a ribbon skirt to match that necklace. That's lateral kindness. That's when you say, we're going to have to make something to match that. Sorry for itching, but there's like, I don't know, like horseflies or just going around, and I just, it's just part of nature. I don't, even like lately, like if a bee stings me, that's okay. They say there's medicine in that bee sting. So I just wanted to take you for a little walk because there's just a lot of stuff ready to up back over here. Got a lot of sweet pine. There's a lot of cottonwood, star boy stories. Cottonwood where it looks like a star. One of and I guess I'm walking you because I'm just sharing with you, this is my mental health. My mental health is here, walking in the woods, and I'm just coming to you for this hour. Native Wellness Institute, we're in a restructuring process, and things are going really well. Our board has been meeting very often, and we're restructuring. We're looking at how we build. We're getting ready for, if you go to www, our website, nativewellness.com, you can see that we're scheduling our events. We're back to, October, November are looking pretty busy. And even this month, I just want to give a shout out to our Wyoming folks. they're bringing, or even in a couple days, I think Casey Nicholson and Lori are doing a lateral kindness as opposed to lateral violence training over at it's probably like Quintucknuck. It's over at Polson. We have several other trainings that are being. Lori and I are going to be in Wyoming. We're doing a gathering of Native Americans, and we just have several. We'll have some online. If you go to the site, our website, we have some online, and then we're going to really start pushing to do all of our training of trainers at Barbie's Village. And that's the property that we have, because we're trying to move away from, you know, big hotels or especially casinos, because a lot of times when people are into wellness, this lateral kindness, we don't, you know, especially if they have like gambling addictions, you know, those of you that can gamble, it's not an addiction, right on. But we have a lot of our people who it's not a good idea just to go there and stay up late and gamble all night. So we're going to community-based, so we'll be doing a lot at Barbie's Village, and coming up, and we're, but I have to, you know, part of, I came to you today because once I got painted, and whatever your renewal, you know, your ceremonies of renewal, you know, because like people will be closing their bundles. We're heading towards the equinox. You know, September 22nd is the equinox, and so some of you may already be, you know, ready to do your ceremonies. You know, it's really cool. That big loud noise is one of the lateral kind things that they're doing, because we have a gravel road in the back. Is there? They got the machinery out there, because when we have a lot of traffic, there's all these check holes and stuff, and so they're grading it. And that's a lateral kind. Okay, so I'm just telling you, this is a mow your elder's lawn, grade, get ready for winter. One of the things that Tristan, and she might come here later, that's Doug's wife, we were talking about, like, Doug always got our wood. So when we were looking at plan A, B, C, she said, you know, in Kalispell you can get this trailer full of wood, chopped wood, and I go, okay, let's half it, you know, just because in our grief, you know, we aren't gonna go get the wood. That's a possibility, and we don't want to. Anyway, bring wood to your elder. Bring, you know, whatever. Pay for their AC, their air conditioning. Pay for their, you know, bring them wood. You know, here we all burn wood, and I'm old school. You know, I still burn wood. I do have propane, and you know, but bring whatever comfort. Think of it like whatever the comfort of that elder is, to bring it, and you know, bring them, you know, that lateral kindness, you know. So Tristan and I were, when she comes tonight, and I wanted her to come over because I had a really good dream last night, and I wanted to tell her in person. And part of that good dream, you know, right here, they say this is the old wagon trail to the North Trail here, but it's like a vortex. You know, this is where there's even, you know, in this, they say this is where people travel over from Red Blankets, like a doorway coming into we have like these sacred spots, and wherever you're at, you have these sacred spots also. Where you travel. And so part of my dream, I just want to share it with her first. She's coming this evening, and I had a really good dream about Doug coming through that spear and going north. And the spear was almost like how like a rainbow is. He was over here, and he was wearing a flowback headdress. And so that says to me that, you know, he's at the Sand Hills, he's at Big Sandy, you know, that he's traveled over, that it has been, he's there. And so I want to spend some time with her, and then I want to spend some time with my mom, because, woohoo, the good news is I'm getting ready to go to Toronto. and and I'm just this is new, and I'm just sharing some good news. This is new for me. I'm going to the premiere of a film that Tasha Hubbart's film, Birthing of a Family, is showing at the Toronto International Film Festival on September 7th. And so Metalark, and they've made arrangements to fly me over to Toronto. They made arrangements where I'll stay, and they're allowing my other niece, Jarita Gray Eyes, to escort me, because that's what, when you have elders, you should have escorts. So she's going to escort me to the premiere. She's going to escort me to any of the red carpet. She's going to escort me to the reception, and so we're pretty excited, because I guess you can't get into this premiere or red carpet or what, I'm new to this, so we're gonna go together, and she's gonna be with me, and I was just thinking about that, because you know how women are like, what you gonna wear? And I go, well, it's not too hard for me. I don't do evening gowns and cleavage and that kind of bullshit. I don't do that. That's just so European anyway. I think I'm gonna wear some of Bethany's fabric that Lori has sewn me a dress, and then I was thinking, should I have a beaded tie, or should I, whatever, and I think I'm gonna wear my Kami Poisman mix, because that's who I really am, my authentic self. That's and I'm not, it's not like a powwow thing or what, anything like that. I'm just gonna dress like that, and so I don't know if I should wear, my moccasins and my leggings. I'm kind of leaning that way. But yesterday, when I was taking care of getting my new tires and getting my oil changed and stuff like that, I like I said, when I went to go get all these glasses, I bought a real sparkly purse, and I thought, this is not like the sparkly purse that you would take to the basketball game. Or the sparkly purse that you would take. It's where you would take it to the premiere of the film, and then get to see like Michael Gray Eyes and all the other famous people that are in here, and so I bought a really sparkly purse, and I thought I can wear it, because I'll wear that, because all I need to take is my room key. Maybe my phone, and maybe some lipstick. It's just that kind of kind stuff that you bring, not your big old lady sack, But also, it's okay, because, I'm one of those bag ladies. How many of you know your grandma or your uncle? Like, I was teasing even Uncle Stephen Barrios. Uncle Stephen, you always got all your bags with everything in it. But sometimes you just need a little bag. A little sparkly bag with all kinds of, looks like it has diamonds on it. It looks like it's a diamond flower. Sometimes we just need to. So that's laterally kind, to allow, like on our reservation, we have the sobriety ball, and everybody, it's like going to the prom again. They all wear tuxedos. They all dress up. And then they've been sewing new things, and they dance all night. They have a nice dinner. And that's laterally kind, is to take your elders out where they can dress up and they can have a nice meal, and you listen to their stories. Doesn't that sound good? That's like the perfect way, lateral kindness. But what else? What about lateral kindness to yourself? But what about kindness to yourself? I really got big doses of that this week. Because one of the laterally kind things is to, go get your teeth checked, go get your eyes checked, get your blood checked, get your mammograms, get your pap and pelvic. I really love the women's clinic here at our hospital. They have really good providers. and making referral. Tomorrow I get to go check from the dermatology. So even those annual exams, lateral kindness is drive your elder there, take them, make it a good thing, take them to lunch, go take them shopping, do some things, but let them go to their appointments, check on them, but that self kindness. Oh boy, I just been as I get ready to go to Toronto and taking a pause with our family, having to have, the ceremony of respect with the celebration of life and stuff. What else? What else do we need for, for that lateral? Like, I was really proud of Mike Duncan on Native Dads Network. He comes on. He does his podcast every Tuesday at 6:30 Pacific time. And yesterday I got up already because I listened to him. Last 5 years, I part of, that's part. It's so. And then I see this sign that's Native Dads. He said, this morning's going to be canceled. And then my first thought is, shucks. But then I thought, right on, Mike is taking care of self-kindness. He's decided to, because he's been doing this, and we do this on a regular routine, just like, for me, it's a routine. So I wanted to come just visit with you today about how you're taking care of yourself and just share some of, getting those annual exams. But I just went right on Mike Duncan, because he took a break. And part of lateral kindness is to take a break. Some of you took vacations. Some of you went to, we have one of our board members is in Ireland right now, Lavina Louie. She's, I'm just going to braid my hair because I need to rebraid it. I'm going to head into town and I don't need to be all bushy. So she's take a break. What does a break mean? When I'm on vacation, I like to be on vacation at home. I travel enough. I do travel enough, but I just love to be at home. And I love, just like right now, taking all this morning, I smudged off. I dreamt good. I wrote down my dream. I did all of these journaling, having time to journal. As I was doing that, I just felt so good to be home. And yeah, I got responsibilities. I was yesterday paying bills online, I had to buy new tires, getting ready for winter, that kind of stuff. But self-care, lateral kindness to yourself, what does that entail? And that means, who do you live with? Who's in your hemisphere with you? If you're still taking care of children, take care of them. If you're still taking care of your cats and dogs, take care of them. But the self stuff, mind, body, and spirit. I was doing extra meditation time. I was doing extra. One of the things, just in this lateral kindness, was smudging often. I swear, just like the healing through was just lighting a smudge all the time, and I really loved that. A lot of even during the funeral, there was a lot of smudges lit, a lot of songs that were going. When we were getting ready for the last viewing, I just spontaneous, thank you, Bart, oh, Ganak Stimita, Crazy Dog, just started singing. At the gravesite, there was just a lot of singers, just started Journey song, the regular songs, but the songs that he liked, just start lateral, listen to music. What kind of music makes you feel good? I always think of my friend Linda. I was like, while she's beating, she puts on old powwow videos and stuff. And sometimes you just need to listen to powwow music. Sometimes you just need to listen to dance music. For me, my happy music is, the golden 60s, the golden 70s, or it's Indian music. And then I guess I'm going to give you a tip on some great lateral kindness that you can do as you get older, is record your stories in your language and in English, one of the greatest things that our Father did for us, and he crossed over to Big Sandy in 2002, and is 5 years before he left us. He made 3 90-minute cassettes, because at that time it was cassettes. And I had been asking him, I said, Dad, I want to make my own prayer. And I made my own prayer in English, and help me to say it in Blackfoot. Hayo stupatapi, hayo ninna, hayo napi no tusi, hayo kita biwa, no gaikimoket, no gaspomoket. So it stimulated him. So 5 years before my dad died, he made these 3 cassettes, and they were all stories that we needed to hear now. Stories about all of his siblings, stories about White Quiver, stories about hunting, stories about land, stories, and shape-shifting. But he did it in Blackfoot, and then he translated it to English. And then he said, he gave this recording to my brother Ira, and told Ira, I want you to wait 2 years, allow your sisters to at least have 2 years of grieving, and then give them a copy of these tapes. And even then, Ira gave us the tapes, and when I put it in the cassette player, this is how old, and I pressed play, and I heard his voice, I just started crying. I don't cry now, I celebrate, because I wore out those tapes, and just this last birthday, and this is the lateral kindness of my brother. I said, brother, you keep saying you're going to give me the digital, that you're going to give it to me. And so what does he do? He gets all of the recordings, and he emails it to me in 6 big emails. They're giant emails, because 90 minutes times 3, but they're my dad's stories. And boy, I just could say now, that was the laterally kind thing that my brother did. So number 1, you need to make those tapes. You need to sit with your elders, record their knowledge for your family, not for other things like white PhDs. You're a PhD. Not like someone studying us, but make them. And now, so I'm carving out some time where I'm just listening to my dad. And I tell you, it's like, I know when I die, because we're all going to die. We have an expiration date. You're not going to live forever. FYI. We all have an expiration date. But I know I'm going to see him. I know I'm going to be with him. I know he's been, even during this time, I know he's been nearby. And I just know he's nearby. But that was the laterally kind thing that my dad did. And like now, as I listen to it, so I've selected a couple of language speakers, because he took care of White Quiver while he was passing away. And White Quiver spoke the old higher language, and so that's what my dad spoke. But one of the laterally kind things you can do is take care of them until they pass, if possible, and not throw them in the nursing home. Take care of them in their home. They want to be home. They want to be in their own bed. They just want to have some story time, maybe, listen to music. They want to go out. They want to go for a ride. They want to, anyway, so dad made this. And so I was just thinking about that, because now I have that, now that my brother has sent this, I'm just listening to my dad, and it helps me accept, we say, God grant me this serenity to accept the things I cannot change. I can't change when someone takes their life and leaves. We can't change people, places, and things. And if you can't change that, it's best to laterally kind to yourself, to let it go and accept it as is, not try to change it. So, I'm carving out this time where I listen to him, And lately I was just been talking to him, just like one of the things, I talked to Doug. I say, Doug, look what I'm doing. Look at look at how I soak these roots. Look at how I get them nice and soft before I cut them up, and then I'm going to dry them in the sun. They'll be dried in the sun. These berries, we always just pick these berries and put them in trays. And my grandma used to put them in a white pillowcase, and then she'd hit that on the clothesline and let them dry. Because when you have dried berries, when you have dried medicine, they last a long time, and you can be laterally kind with that. So that recording, I'm carving out the time. And so even, all of you, I was just thinking of, my Colorado friends, my New Mexico friends, my Washington State friends, my Alberta friends, my Ontario friends, my British Columbia, Lisa Martin, my Wisconsin friends, all of you have your elder. And, that's why this Wellness Wednesday, Native Wellness Institute, our goal is to keep the teachings of our ancestors alive. And we're not perfect. We do the best we can. And that's what we've been doing since the 1980s. And we've been a 501c3 for 25 years, going on 26 years, because we just try to bring it in an Indian way. And that's our lateral kindness, our give back to the community. And so then, think about, because there's all these podcasts, and that's good. But are they real Indians? Because, if listen to some fake ass Indians, you're going to be a fake ass Indian. And maybe, what's your goal? I want to be a fake ass Indian. I want to be a frickin' pretend Indian. So I'm only going to listen to them. Anyway, I'm just laughing because I thought, I'm just going to be myself, my authentic self, my authentic Nistu Nidaniko Makoyo Sakoi Theta Nubras. Yes, I am a badass auntie, I'm a badass grandma, I'm a badass sister, I'm a badass mother. I'm these things, but I'm just coming to you. I was just saying, geez, look at my, I'm just coming to you as is, just to share some positive, productive, and proactive dialogue around lateral kindness. And so, as I kind of wind down, in lateral kindness, wear what you want to wear. Don't people please others. Be who you are. In lateral kindness to yourself, drive the kind of vehicle you want to drive. Fix up your house the way you want it. I live in this humble cabin. This is what works for me. I live in fancy places all the time when I travel. This is what works for me. Whatever works for you. And housing, live and be housed with those that appreciate you, those that adore you. That Blackfoot word, Kitsi Kakomim. Kitsi Kakomim. Kitsi Kakomim. My dad, even in those recordings, it doesn't, yes, it means I love you, but it's much deeper than that. It means I cherish you. I deeply cherish your spirit. Just like Oki means my spirit's really happy to see your spirit. The meaning, when you cherish something, cherish yourself. For 21 days, say, I love you. Look in the mirror when you get up, no matter what you look like. And if you got someone with you, if you snagged, whatever. No, look, say, I love you to yourself. Kitsikakomim. I love you. I cherish you. Say that till you believe it and you treat yourself better. Say that to yourself and behave with it to yourself. Taking care of yourself. Being good to yourself. And it's okay if you have wrinkles. It's okay if you got a turkey neck. I love my turkey neck. It's okay if you got wobbly right here. It's okay if all of those, accepting your body as is, loving. I love you, Flab. I love you, my roll. I love you. You know, just accepting you, your thoughts. And so, in our last lateral kindness, learn to control your thoughts. Don't go down, a dark rabbit hole. Don't go down, and if your thoughts are going that way, have a list. Think about those, that you cherish, and the ones that are alive and the ones aren't. You're living their legacy. Be your mother's legacy. Be your father's legacy. The good parts. Act like them. Do like them. It's easy. Think about, who do you love and what do they do that makes you happy? What do they do that encourages you, that uplifts you? And do those things. That's what lateral kindness is about. And you can think about, Cecilia Fire Thunder, all the 50 years we've known each other. We always would talk in the morning as she was going to work, and she called me this morning real early. She was going to her work, and she's doing some really progressive things with the boarding school that she went to, and interviewing and today one of the ones that she went to boarding school with passed away. So she said, yeah, I'm going to go get a star quilt and I'm going to get a bunch of meat. And she said, as you get older, yeah, they die. She said, but you don't let go down that rabbit hole with that. You celebrate their life and you'll see them again, and she just really helped. So we ended up visiting about the Jesuits, that she's going to go to their archives, the Franciscans in Denver. So that lateral kindness, call them up routinely and say, hey, how are you doing? How is your day? What are you up to? Or, share part of what you are, not like, how you doing? Fine. Did you know that fine stands up for effed up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional? Fine. So don't say that no more. Really say how you are. Like right now, I'm just, as we're kind of winding down, I'm looking back at the water. I know I've already jumped in it for today. I might jump in it later on this evening, but I'm going to get ready to rebraid my hair. I'm going to get ready to go in and be with my mom. And that's the lateral kindness in action for me. And bring her gift for her little gray braids. She has these little clips, and I bought her a whole bunch of 3 sets. Went crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna say kita kito matsuno. We'll see you next Wednesday. See you later.